Hello, my name is Roshan, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the films I watched in April and May. I know it's quite late, and I was a bit busier than usual, but here I am to talk about those movies and a web show which I watched in middle. I'll just go through in a chronological manner what I have watched and what I felt about it. So the first film I watched in April was Three of Us. This is a very special film to me. Words can't describe how it made me feel. It also reminded me of one of my all-time favorite movie, Past Lives. And I think there is something about both of these films which leaves me speechless every time I watch it. And this is what I love most about watching movies and just engaging in any sort of a storytelling when it leaves me, speechless, and it makes me feel something which I don't really feel in my everyday life. So this is what make both of these movies, Past Lives and Three of Us, really close to my heart. The movie is about this character Selja, who one day decides to visit her childhood village where she was brought up, and she asks her husband to come with her. She has an illness that is dementia, where she forgets everything, but because of that, she decides to visit her village, and there she meets her old school friends. Once they used to be in love, but that feeling is still there. But now all of them have family, and the way these three characters are portrayed, it's just beautiful. The way they have acted, Chaideep Alawat, Shefali Shah, and Swanand Kirkire. I mean, all of them have done amazing job. Their performance is out of this world, what you would expect from any movie, and especially from the standards of Indian cinema. The cinematography is so poetic, along with the story and amazing group of actors. The next movie I watched was The Northman, a film that I had been sleeping for the longest time. But I always forget that folklore is one of my favorite genres, and I always forget to watch movies like this. This filmmaker, Robert Eggers, is master of folklore. I remember watching Lighthouse and how it confused me, but at the same time it was so creepily cool to watch. And this movie, The Northman, is about Vikings. Another topic, Vikings, samurai, and warriors. They appeal to me more than my future. There is something cool and fascinating about the way they lead their life. And I always find Vikings were so badass. I mean, I could not survive in that era. I know for the fact that people like us, we could have managed. After all, we are humans, right? But watching this movie was just an amazing feeling, to be able, I have always watched samurai or warrior movies in animated version, and I rarely get to watch movies like this. And I always forget, as I said, that folklore and movies like these are one of my favorite genres. So the film is about Vikings, a prince named Amleth, whose father was killed in front of his eyes, and now he is seeking revenge. Sounds similar, right? Like Vinland Saga. So he is on a journey and to become a stronger and to return to take revenge of his father. And now here comes the magic of Robert Eggers. That the magical element he brings to the cinematography is what I'm talking about. It is just so good looking film, and I mean, with just cool looking characters and just landscapes, and that magical element and literally magical element that he puts was just so amazing. And of course, William Dafoe, what the fuck that was, man. It was just so horrifying to watch him in that avatar. And the next film is The Witch. My fever to watch films from Robert continued, and I wanted to watch some more folklore. And this time, I picked up The Witch, which is a horror period film set in 17th century of England. And boy, this was just so fascinating. I mean, I have been reading history, but to literally see what the place looked like, how the people behaved, especially in the context of religion, is so horrifying. And again, I was thinking, could I have survived in that era? But boy, the film is about a group of family who is exiled from the village because of not following the usual Christianity, the church, and now they have to live away from the village where they are completely isolated near a forest. They are farming, they have goats, they have children, and now they have to take care of themselves all by themselves. And I was watching an essay about this video on YouTube where it mentioned that how low budget the movie was. And in that context, this is such a beautiful movie if you consider how low budget this was. The movie was so gripping and just shot so beautifully. I mean, the location especially, that made it so gripping. And the ending, it reminded me of my childhood, honestly. Like, we don't have Diana or witch around us, but we used to gossip a lot. Like, during my childhood, me and my cousins, like we used to discuss all this, the witch thing, and how similar it is. Some of the stories which are commonly known among us was also there, especially the group when they got together. It was just so fascinating. It was just so fascinating and so nostalgic at the same time. How scared I used to be in my childhood of all these witches, and it was funny at the same time. So, of course, a very fascinating watch, and I would definitely recommend all of these 3 movies. I didn't watch much in April, but whatever I watched, it was out of this world. And then I watched An Action Hero, another movie which I had been sleeping on, and I had seen lots of people talking about it. And I decided to watch this movie because of Jaideep Alawat and Ayushmann Khurrana. I love both of these guys. They are fantastic actors. So this was another Bollywood masala movie, but in a very different concept. I like that thrilling part of it, when the metaphor was used as an action hero. So yeah, it's a very entertaining movie. I don't have much to talk about it, but if you're interested to watch something fun and interesting from Bollywood, then definitely you should check this out. So my May started with Laapata Ladies. I think everybody by this time is aware of this movie, and of course, why they should not be. It's such a cool movie. It's such an eye-opening movie. I mean, whatever you see from Amir Khan production, they are always so fun to watch. They're always so thought-provoking. But the way this movie was made, the characters, the unknown characters, and even Ravi Kishan, he has done fantastic work in this movie. And yeah, the story is about Puspa and Fool. Like, literally, as the title suggests, Lapata ladies. They both are Lapata. They are lost. They're literally lost. Not the way we describe ourselves being lost. So it's about women, about them finding a voice to work among society. So this movie is able to portray this message in such a beautiful manner with amazing characters. The coolest thing about this movie, and for me the highlight of this movie, was the actors. It doesn't seem like they are acting. Then I went to watch The Boy and the Heron, and I watched it in theaters, and I have already talked about this in a separate video. So if you are interested, feel free to check my video. But it was another magical watch, and Studio Ghibli, what to talk about, man. They are always right on the mark. And yeah, all the big talk about feeling guilty, I decided to watch another web show, and this time it was Paatal. And yeah, same reason, Jaideep Alawat. And when I came to know that it was made from the same filmmaker of Three of Us, I immediately decided to watch it. I didn't care about feeling guilty about it, and boy, was I hooked from the go. I regret that why didn't I watch it in the beginning. It's about a bunch of criminals and an inspector, Hathilal, who is investigating the case of a group of criminals who tried to kill a news reporter. But there is more layer to it, and I think the prejudices and the stereotypes is shown in this movie is just accurate. Even I have seen it around me. The lower caste people, the different looking people from Indian people, even some of the Muslims, and the kind of images they have, it was just so accurate. So I think that layer was amazing. And of course that Hathauda man, even he was shown in such a manner that it was really fascinating, which you don't really find very often in Indian web shows. I think in Indian web shows you will find characters like that, but not typical character from Indian storytelling. And then I watched Godzilla, and this was my first Godzilla movie, and all the hype behind this movie, I just wanted to check out what this was about. And then there was a Japan factor too, so I just went and watched it. But I was kind of disappointed in it because of all those actors, especially the main actor. I'm not an actor and I don't know how acting is done, but watching films is a subjective manner, right? You are not going to enjoy everything, and I didn't enjoy this movie much, but I still sat through it. And the last film from May was the first Slam Dunk by my favorite mangaka and my favorite artist of all time, Takehiko Inoue. I have read everything from him, from Vagabond, Real to Slam Dunk, and I was really looking forward to watch this movie in the theater, but it was not released in India. And maybe even if it was released in India, I just didn't get the news. I don't know why it didn't get the popularity it deserved, but I was really looking forward to it. And boy, was it worth the wait? I loved every second about this. I have always been a huge fan of anime and manga, but watching this kind of animation was just so soothing. I mean, it just made me feel so calm. And the story was completely different from the manga. I mean, it followed the core story, but this character was shown in a completely different manner what it was in the manga. And there is something about a sports anime that is indescribable too. It motivates you with all those slow-mo and all those things. It just makes you feel so hyped. And boy, I got to mention the last 15 or 20 minutes of the film. It was just perfect. It was in slow motion. It was just pure art. And the ending made me cry. The backstory, it just broke me. But boy, I gotta say, this is just pure work of art. So I should recommend 2 movies that you should not sleep on. The first is the first Slam Dunk, and then 3 of Us. So definitely check this out. If you have watched this video so far, please leave a comment and let me know what you think about this video, and let me know if you have watched any of the mentioned movies or web shows and how it made you feel. Thank you for watching. Bye.